we already have people waiting here. Thank you, Yidikis and Overton, for making it. Appreciate it. Let's see.
Overton!
I gotta pull up. Yeah, text to chat. Because he was even here early. I saw him. Like I couldn't type to it right then, so appreciate it.
We like our viewers
Yeah,
to be keen.
we like
And
that anyone even cares.
because we just want to be loved.
Yeah, we just want to be talked to.
Yeah, just talk to us, dudes.
Talk
We're
to
friendless
us.
guys.
So wait, this is the Twitter handle. I know it goes by I think Dr. Norton, and I had seen it last week when I did it. I didn't get to do last week's show, and so I wanted to do it this one because it was just such a great the armor like the Marvel miniatures. I think have been like being looking fantastic. They have a lot of good movement in them, in my opinion, and then he just this picture to me was just like total 100% comic book panel, and I was like, oh, what can I want to imitate, I think, in the background almost like the speed line effects. You know how you do like speed lines from like an anime or even in comic books or whatever. So I kind of want to get maybe like some kind of not energy, but I don't know, just make it look like that. Do a little bit of comic book tweak like that, and then still get them full emotion because this thing looks like it's gonna punch your face off.
Well, yeah, the Hulkbuster. I love
Yeah,
the idea that Tony Stark just thought, you know what, I need a suit to take on the Green Guy.
yeah. I mean, that's like you get
Cover
anywhere
all
against the green
eventualities.
guy.
Yeah, that
Absolutely.
Green Guy. He's like very fisty. He like comes around here, he punches people in the face, and then
Punch him in the
uses it as
face.
sort of rug.
What did we? I must have missed a lot of stuff. I did start again, semantic stuff. So then, of course, like I haven't done anything, and then I'm all doing good, and stuff's all going great. But then, as soon as you get like where it's like, oh my god, I get all nervous. It's like no matter what I paint over, I still get nervous like every time. I'm like, oh man, I gotta make these look cool and something, and then you get all this like overthinking it and everything. It's like, dude, chill out.
Relax, dude.
Just
It's
relax, dude.
okay.
Yeah,
There's nothing to worry about.
yeah,
A
just
few-
chill, bro.
Yeah, just like enjoy yourself. Like I'm enjoying myself with a little bit of Jack and Coke.
Oh, right now, oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I've got a friend Bud with me as well.
Oh, he's got backup. That's a
Yeah, just
classic.
have a little.
That's like a total American combination, dude. Jack and Coke and a Bud.
Yeah.
Dang,
Well, yeah, it's not the other way around though. You go for the Bud, and then you have the Jack Daniel's Chaser.
it just makes me laugh that after randomly meeting you and you were over there drinking Bud and I was over here drinking Stella.
Yeah, yeah. We
It's
we
like
import
like something goes to
it.
show about that or something. There's something in there.
Yeah, I like my American beers and
It's
well
like
American and Danish beers because
yeah.
I love a bit of Carlsberg.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, the French beers I'm not a big fan of the French beers or the Belgian beers even. But yes,
Greetings. He's having yeah, no doubt. It happens to everybody pretty much. Cheers, Lee. Said Overton. Overton, are you working on anything today? Or tonight or wherever, whatever?
what are you up to? Tell us.
Tell us.
We want to know.
Did you see has anything for like the last 2 weeks, did GW release? I'm sure they released something, but did anything catch your eye lately?
Oh, there's loads of stuff being released,
Oh
but there's
wait, the
only one thing that
Warhound.
matters to me.
Is that what I saw? That crazy Warhound?
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
God, I saw that too, dude. I only saw one picture of it, and I was like, and I think it was because I was looking at your feed, and I was like, oh my God, I think that was new, so that's pretty cool.
yes, it is the dire wolf. The
Oh
direwolf
yeah,
heavy scout mech.
I'll have to get me one of those.
But on my Instagram, I've had like some interesting sort of like messages. It's very split. Some people like it, some people don't,
I
and
liked
then
it.
you've got people comparing it to all the BattleTech stuff, um,
Oh, okay,
or Ed
I can
two hundred
kind of see
nine,
that.
which was it was my first initial thing was That's like Ed 209 with a volcano
Oh,
cannon.
see, but I'm a sucker for Ed 209, so I'm down with it.
But yeah, it was. It's been mentioned in the books for a while, along with some
Oh,
other Titans, and but I think everyone was like not expecting that to turn up, and I'm
yeah,
sure, which I'm actually quite surprised because obviously apart from the people going like, oh, but it looks like this from BattleTech, and
yeah.
it looks a bit weird with its legs. They don't
Mm-hmm.
like the legs. But as I say, it's another mech, but nobody seems to be mentioning that it's not Scale 7 because with the models they've released so far, there's no Scale 7 Titan and there's no Scale 11 Titan.
Oh, yeah, for the yeah. You'd mentioned that before. So there's that gap in there.
Yeah, so this is another Scale 6. Um,
Interesting.
so it's like, okay.
Yeah,
So
they got to be plotting something.
well, who knows? Who knows with these people?
Those
It's
rascally game companies.
yeah, I know coming out here like creating more stuff for us to buy. Although it is
Yeah.
a resin kit, so it's not going to be
Oh, it
cheap.
is. Okay,
Yeah,
no.
so that's one thing I'm sort of a little bit disappointed with. Um,
Uh-huh.
but the thing is with resin, yes, you get really good superior detailing compared to plastic,
Mm-hmm.
but they are a lot harder to work with, especially like if you're trying to do like different poses and stuff. Quite hard.
Overton, Levy like sigh. Thanks, I guess.
No, to be honest, I've already put myself down for at least two, um, three possibly, but yeah, it's more likely going to be like an auxiliary Titan.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
it's
not
one
going
of
to be
those
like,
accoutrements.
yeah, it's not going to be like, oh yeah, you
Uh,
can field squadrons upon squadrons of them.
mm-hmm.
So it's like a flavorful addition to
Exactly.
your,
Just a different look or whatever.
yeah, exactly. So it's yeah, as I said, I've already earmarked myself for definitely two of them. One for my Solaria Legio and one for my Audats because they need it. But with the rules that we've seen, yeah, it's looking interesting. Having a little nippy.
Yeah, well, so I'm assuming it's like what kind of weapon is that or supposed to be?
Well, yeah, the one that's in the picture is a volcano cannon, so it's a Reaver
Okay.
scale volcano cannon. So it's not because like what they've done with the Warbringer Nemesis, another one with a big cannon on its roof.
Yeah, yeah.
Basically, it's like one of them where they've put a massive weapon from the scale above or
On
a
it.
big scale
Okay.
onto um, a Warhound chassis sort of thing. So the volcano cannon is going to be interesting because you have to roll your reactor dice when firing it every time. And if you
Yeah.
have a
So
bad
it's
roll,
like a yeah, so it's a highly aggressive, might blow up on you kind of thing, dude. It seems like to
it
me.
might blow you up. Yeah,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
need
Like
damage
you're
from it.
okay, it's a risky proposition, but it seems like it could do some damage if you get the right hit.
Yeah, it's a good. It's got good distance. Basically, that's the main advantage of that over like plasma cannons.
Ah, okay.
So it's got range. It's strength 10 standard. Um, but yeah, whereas a like Sun Fury or plasma blast gun, sorry, for a Warhound, has only got 24-inch range. Um, the volcano cannons easily twice that. Um, so you've got a good bit of distance, but only one
Okay.
shot, and it
Yeah,
can
yeah.
really heat you up. Which, in a game where you have reactor management,
Oh
getting
yeah.
hot is not fun.
No. What okay, so what else has been out or anything that you know of?
Oh, a lot of older stuff.
Oh, so they did okay, so I
Sort of
remembered some of it first coming out and they released more. All right, I'm gonna catch up on that then.
Yeah, so you've got some new like bodies for Eldari, sorry,
Yep.
Eldari warriors. We've had some warlocks. They've been released earlier in the week. Um, there's hinting at a new avatar of Cain for them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see that.
That's been around for like the GW version has been around for
Yeah.
years. The Forge World one's probably been about 10 to 12
Wow.
years that's been around. Which the Forge World one is nicer compared to the original sort of metal slash finecast one that
Yeah.
GW did because it's quite stunted, whereas
Yeah.
the Forge World one is taller and it looks more purposeful and more
Hmm.
Eldari, sorry, like very live but very potent.
Yeah, yeah. They're not. Yeah, they're not. Yeah, they're killers, man.
Hmm. So there's some new jet bikes that they've got. Um, so yeah, there's lots
Oh,
of
for
stuff.
okay. Okay,
Probably more
cool.
stuff. Actually, that's going to be on tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. British time. Is when the Las Vegas Open
Huh.
um, broadcast for Games Workshop is being aired. So it'll be over your
Oh, okay.
like 1 a.m. Um, so they'll be doing some show and tell in a matter of hours. So, something to look
Oh,
forward to. Oh, no, it's not tomorrow. It's Friday morning. Damn it!
okay.
I'm going to give
Friday
you days.
morning.
It's Wednesday, isn't it?
Hey, it happens, man.
Hmm.
It happens, dude. Did
What would you
you
like?
already finish? Wait, so I still haven't even started the new um season of Expanse. That's not finished yet, is it?
Yes,
It is. Okay.
yes.
Did it
Finished two
meet?
weeks ago.
Okay, okay, so it just finished that. Did it pass muster with you?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it's they nailed it. They got it. They landed the show. It wasn't
Okay, good.
a disappointment or anything like that. They've set up possibilities for returning if need be, if people want to,
Yeah,
sort of
okay.
thing. I've been hearing that there's like just taking a hiatus type
Yeah,
situation.
yeah, they might try to do, sometimes they'll do like their little short movie or something or whatever.
Well, that's the thing because, as I've said before, the end of book 6, um, there's a 30-year gap between that and book 7.
Yeah.
So it was a natural stop point as such. Um, and if they wanted to go ahead with the same cast and crew, then they'd have to concern themselves with like aging them for each episode.
Yeah, yeah.
There's another 3 books to go, and they cover a few years as well. So I think the 3 books cover around about 4 years, I think,
Okay, okay.
um, or maybe a bit more actually. Because there's a little bit I'm not too sure on, but there is
Yeah.
a definite 30-year gap between Babylon's Ashes and Persepolis Rising, the 7th book. Was
See?
that
Look at
announced?
that.
Interesting.
Some more education on this show.
Mm. But yeah,
Education and trivial matters.
um, my friend Engine Phil, who views in every now and
Absolutely.
again,
Yeah.
um, he's been watching it, um, and he he's not feeling it. He's like
Yeah.
he's been fighting against it basically. So
Hmm.
like, he thinks it's too cerebral for him. Um,
Yeah. I can see because
yeah,
that happens to me sometimes. And it's like I didn't find it too much with this show. There's a lot where I don't know. They try to layer it in too deep, and then they kind of lose me because it's like to me, it's like they're not executing well. It's like you got to have your kind of superficial look, then you're like a little deeper, and then you can have like another layer. But if you start getting them all confused, where they would try to make everything, I don't know, like interesting or something could be special or this, like sometimes like life is in general and storytelling because a lot of mundane stuff and then like interesting stuff. So like for me personally, I could see that with some shows where they just feel like too much they're trying to say too much or do too much.
Yeah, I was actually having a conversation with him earlier on because he was asking me about, like, well, how's this thing work? You know,
Hmm.
how are they not being stuck to the wall when they're flying around at 18,000
Yeah.
miles an hour, sort of thing? So I was explaining to him that basically in the Expanse they have what they call thrust gravity, which is
Okay.
created when the engines are burning and they're
Oh
flying forward,
yeah. So I can see that. Yeah, they
and then
counter
you
it.
have yeah, and then you have spin gravity, which is gravity generated by rotating fast.
Hmm.
So, and then I pointed out to him, says basically shows like Star Trek and all that use magic MacGuffins to make gravity,
Yeah.
but they're
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
using proven scientific facts in the fact that when you're flying in space, you know, there's no friction.
Yeah.
There's actually, you know, inertia is like woo, and you have to have a constant acceleration to produce thrust
Yeah,
gravity.
yeah, you're making it. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why I always thought, and they don't use it too much because maybe it's obviously completely full of crap. Is like when Battlestar used to have the ships flipping and stuff. I was like, oh, dude, that just looks so cool to me. And I was like,
Mm.
okay, yeah, if you could like just pivot like that and come around, and then you're still flying the other way, but you're shooting backwards and stuff.
Yeah, that was the original series, so that was the whole thing, wasn't it? When they put the brakes on, and like the
Yeah,
sails would fly right past, sort of thing.
you always got to hit the brakes. You don't want to
Technically,
fly right
that
by.
can happen. Technically, if you've got a big enough sort of thrust,
Yeah,
but
you'd have to like the spots to spin around on your own axis would have to be
mm,
totally right. You know what I mean?
yeah. Yeah, I think that one of the best sort of things to sort of, again, it was a space MacGuffin,
Yeah.
um, was a film called The Explorers, which
I might have heard that.
had a very young Ethan Hawke in it, a very young River Phoenix in it, and
Okay.
some a
Yeah,
few other
I
guys.
yeah, I think
They
I
basically like
remember
three
that.
kids make a spaceship, and they make this through. They have shared dreams, and
Okay.
with it they create this thing that allows them to basically go into space. It's actually one of my favourite
Yeah.
films ever.
Huh.
But this little sphere that they could make by increasing the power going into the computer program to make the sphere,
Yeah.
they could increase the size, so they could they get like a Wurlitzer car, and they
Yeah.
like seal it all up, put windows on it and stuff, and make it into a spaceship. And then they put the the shield or the bubble thing around them, which allows them to fly, maneuver on
Yeah.
all axes, like
Very
zipping around
cool.
like that. But yeah, there's no science behind that.
No, just gotta go with what's cool.
Yeah,
I was all excited today to do this because I was like, man, I get to do gold sparkles, dude. This one's gonna have I get to have gold sparkles, it's got gold armor, and it's lit right. I'm like, I'm putting gold sparkles on this bad boy.
yeah, that's the thing. You love your sparkles, and you've been very lax in amount of sparkles opportunities.
That's the thing. I mean, and how bad when you think about it, like how bad can your life really be if you're putting gold sparkles on things? You know what I mean? It's like there's a certain standard. If you're messing with putting gold sparkles on things, there's a lot of problems you don't have. So I
Yeah,
just gotta try to bask in the fact that I'm allowed to put gold sparkles on stuff right now.
this is the best day ever. I
Yeah.
get to play with gold.
Gold sparkles, life is good.
Yeah, and then the glow. Don't forget the glow of the eyes and the reactor.
Okay, Overton, you like kind of that background like that? Yeah. All right, good to know. I think it gives it a little action. I'm going to end up blurring a little bit on his fists and stuff like that to put some more action into him, but right now I'm getting carried away with some chatter. I missed you guys.
Well, no, I was actually just thinking that when I was looking at the Order Guard, I thought, oh, that background's pretty nifty. And then Overton just like read my mind and just jumped
Dun
in
dun dun.
there. I'm broadcasting on the newsphere.
Anything what else? Is there anything else I missed? Was anything released or whatever in the last 2 weeks?
Oh, Tau as well.
Oh, really?
That's going to be one of the big reveals. It's probably some new Tau battle suits.
Okay. Oh,
Uh,
I could see that. I because some of those are really cool.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's like, Tau are all about the battle suit.
Yeah.
That's why I did them, because they had crisis battle suits, and then they had like the broadsides, and then
Heck
Forge
yeah.
World brought out a whole load of other stuff. Um, but they are really cool. Um,
See, what is okay? Wait a second. What is the like? Of course, that all made me think of BattleTech, and then or Robotech at that point. What is? How come there's no? I must be missing it. Like, is there Robotech stuff? How come I don't see the cool Robotech bots? I don't see any like video games really with them. I don't see any like toys around a lot. I don't. Am I just missing something, or do you think you don't notice any of that either?
Not Robotech, no. Robotech was, and it was. I knew of it growing up, but
Okay,
we didn't really have access to it as such.
gotcha.
Um, so yeah, so only like real sort of like connoisseurs had like Robotech.
Okay,
Uh, there were
interesting. That
Robotech toys, like model kits I remember seeing, um,
okay.
but they just weren't pushed as much over
No,
here.
I could see. Yeah,
Cartoon
that's
wasn't
what I was
shown.
kind of wondering. And then I just never saw like the walkers with the pilots and everything in there. Man, I always loved it how they moved and everything. I was like, wait a second, how come I didn't see any like the Zentradi driving their battle suits in a cool simulator? I'm like, that suit was kind of made like they just had the pod with legs, and it was one of the first designs. Really, I mean, obviously there was others, but that's so early back then, and they just moved so cool, and I was like, wait a second, I don't even have like a video game where I can pilot one of those or anything, so that's kind of just struck me as odd right now.
Yeah, say I think because it depends on what sort of sphere you sort of hang around in.
Yeah.
Like, as I said, like there was Robotech type toys, but
Hmm.
as I said, they weren't really. There was no
No.
cartoon associated, because obviously that was the thing. If you had a cartoon, people get interested and they buy stuff. So
Oh,
like,
see, yeah, because that's where I first seen it. So, and that's one of those things like because it's across the pond because I did have that cartoon, you know what I mean? And that's why I was like, oh, I was always mystified by those explosions. So, and then I
yeah,
think,
and the stuff that we had, like there was like some of the most popular sort of cartoon series, like uh, Battle Beyond the Planets,
yeah,
uh,
yeah.
which
Oh,
was a
yeah.
Japanese or French combination,
Yeah,
G Force or
yeah,
Gattaca, I think it was called in Japan. Um,
yeah,
we had those cartoons, but no toys. I
yeah.
remember seeing once in a department store, um, a toy which was something I never even saw in the cartoon. Um,
Yeah. Oh, I remember
and
they
they,
used to do that with a lot of toys and stuff back then, didn't they? They'd always just
yeah,
have some like probably cast off, like, hey, we can say it's from this thing. Go make it.
yeah, but they did have stuff like that. And that's the thing, that we had the cartoons, but not the toys of those things. Whereas Robotech, we
Yeah,
had the toys, but not the cartoons. So
that's
you don't
interesting.
really get invested in it. You just think, oh, that's pretty cool, but
No, you
I'd
don't.
rather have my
Yeah.
Transformer.
Okay,
Um,
that's cool. Yeah, I didn't know
or
that was the case.
Toolbox.
So interesting. And I think obviously the UK is the driver for the miniatures industry, albeit maybe some like robot stuff coming out of Japan because they have like a big push with that maybe. But I think for like typical games and everything on the Western side, UK is still the driver, so that if you didn't have that connection at that time, there's less of the game companies out there would be prompted to make it or anything like that. So I could see that as having an effect as well.
Yeah, well, I say it's down to the exposure.
Hmm.
Like again, another cartoon series which was really popular, which was Ulysses 31,
Oh
and
yeah, I've heard of it.
again,
I never
it
saw
was,
that, and that's the same thing. That's one I didn't have
yeah,
access to.
cartoon was here, but no toys. I managed to see a toy once in France, but I didn't actually see the toy. I just saw the pack something advertising the Ulysses 31 spaceship
Okay.
that
Oh,
he's fighter ship.
so I still like the other night, I don't know, maybe it was last week, I watched an episode. I think it was episode 11 of Galaxy Rangers. I think it was 11 or 12. But I cracked up and I never caught this as a kid, and it kind of like I'm by no means any kind of a Puritan, but it just was funny because it's like, wait, this was in there. There was this little like it's like a robot bird, and it's like a memory bird, right? So it would just remember things that it was like basically programmed or whatever to remember. And it was all glitching, and it would start saying stuff back. And it was making, I forget what the reference to. I don't know if something was, it's referencing something. So when it says this, but it used the words ass, as in like, your ass pipe. So it's an ass pipe. The robot version, like, it's connected to your ass pipe, and then like this stuff. And I'm like, wait a second, I'm like, you're not gonna find too many cartoons that would have a Saturday morning cartoons that would, like, the bird was saying ass pipe. I
Well,
was cracking up,
actually,
dude.
right
I was like,
here,
wait a second.
here's something I was watching the other day on. It was on The Simpsons.
Yeah.
So I've got it on my phone. So if you want to zoom in,
Oh, wait, let's give you a zoom in. Hang in. Close up. Lee's close up time. Everybody, pay attention. We're zooming in on Lee. Wait, okay.
so this is from
Some.
an episode of The Simpsons.
You know, oh.
Right? I saw that and I thought, hold on a second, wanker! Oh my god!
That's hilarious. That's right. I bet you there's probably quite a few hidden in The Simpsons.
Well, there was one of my favourite ones. Oh, hello, Eutychus. Eutychus is in.
Eat
Um,
a kiss. Yeah.
there was an old I think it was an old Batman, or even no, it was actually an old Captain America. When they used to put the sound effects like Batman, like
Yep.
bam, yeah,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. And one of them, you got Captain America hitting somebody, it goes wank. So yeah, obviously
Perfect.
over there,
Yep.
it's not. Well,
They
you probably
wouldn't have
know
got the
now
reference. A lot of them
from
wouldn't have
certain
got the
people.
reference.
Yeah, but yeah, like it's when you go to other countries and like you hear of a word like when you say like, oh, your fanny, you mean your ass.
Yeah, yeah.
Where over here it means a lady's front bottom.
Hmm. Oh gosh, see, didn't even know. That's what this stream is for, dude, to get a little more worldly when you tune in.
Yeah, exactly. To help you with all your worries and
Yep,
concerns
worldly
if you're
travels
going
when you go
between the
around the world.
countries.
Yeah, you're like, hey, hot tip.
Yeah, but it's like again, like with yeah, but as I say, just see what obviously some American sense would be like wanker must be a
Must be a
bird.
bird. Yeeticus, what are you up to this evening? Dun, dun, dun. Someone's gonna get punched in
No
the
good.
mouth. It's not gonna be me. Dun, dun, dun. He needs some
Yeah, because
sparkles.
explaining those sort of little cultural differences is very
Yeah,
important. Because I'd like to draw on it was the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
yeah, that's a
and
classic.
there's a bit where Arthur Dent is he basically says something really like didn't mean anything. He says, oh, I must reevaluate my life choices or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that sentence got basically shifted through a sort of a warp portal or something like that. It's traveled through time and space, and then it's reappeared at a meeting between two warring factions. And as they're standing there negotiating the peace, Arthur Dent's voice is heard saying, "I must really, reevaluate my life choices," sort of thing. But in the language of one of the alien races, that meant like a grave insult to his mother.
Oh,
And
of
so
course.
the war escalated, and then you see this little cutaway where like the two forces were like fighting each other like for many generations.
Yeah.
And they realized it was a horrible mistake, and they tracked down the source of um, the message, sort of thing, or where it came from, and
Yep.
they combined together in a mighty fleet, flew to Earth, and was
Oh.
consumed by a small Scotty dog. So, and you just see like these ships, like it's all computer, like 1980s computer graphics, like
Yeah, yeah.
asteroids, all these ships joining together, flying along, going down along the street, and then suddenly this dog just goes, huh? He's about to eat them. So yeah,
That was great about his stuff.
yeah. Say, and the thing is with the Hitchhiker's Guide, like even like in the stage show or the radio show, there's a whole thing that it's deliberately done so like each show could be slightly different. They could
Mm.
muck about and jazz it up or whatever. Um, so I've seen like obviously the original series that they released on the BBC, the two-part
Yeah, I gotta go
sort of mini
grab.
series.
I can hear you. I got earbuds in, but I'm just gonna go grab another power cord because my tablet's getting low.
You need power.
Power. If I can get past
Uh,
all these cords and not spill
yeah,
coffee, it's a danger zone in this room right now, buddy.
it sounds it. It sounds it.
Yeah.
But the yeah, so like obviously you had the radio show originally, then they had the TV show, and then obviously there was all these books that Douglas Adams wrote. Um, and then obviously they've done, was it in the early 2000s where they done the movie where you had
Yeah,
like
that's what it was.
Well and Martin Freeman as Arthur Dent. Um, so you know, and each of them is or different iterations, but it was allowed. You can do that, you know, because of the
Yeah.
whole premise. Because there was even a recording that Douglas Adams done, which when I went to see the stage production of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy,
Oh, you went and saw a stage production? That's cool.
yeah, I saw it about 7, 8 years ago.
Okay.
So obviously it was after his death because he died in the sort of either late 90s, early 2000s or
Yeah.
something. But there's a lot of recording of him, like in a similar situation, like books behind him, and he's talking to the screen, Crimson. He doesn't say that, but um, and he's basically just saying about, in a very Douglas Adams way, about how you know each watching is different, sort of thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
how it's that's kind of cool because it takes all that pressure off the weird when they're too far into it or something and you don't have any leeway and it just artistically I think it leaves a more creative outlet for that stuff.
oh, totally, yeah. And they say like when you whatever version you watch or read the book or whatever, it's just those little bits that they put in the little silly things.
Hmm.
You know, like the whole thing about the Pan Galactic Gargle Blaster. That's
That's yeah, I love it. Throw like some of the best stuff is just throwaway one-liners basically.
hmm. Well, again, like in the TV show and in the book, when they first um, when they get uh, thrown out the airlock by the Vogons and they get picked up by the Heart of Gold because the ship has a improbability drive, and because it's an improbable thing,
It
it
happened,
just
yeah.
there was no chance. The probability of them being rescued in the time they had between being chucked out of an airlock and their death was like
Yeah.
7 to the power or whatever. But because the Heart of Gold had a improbability drive,
Improbability drive, it picks
it
it up.
picked them up.
I know. And like kudos to him for just being so wacky to think about it all. You know what I mean? There's
Yeah.
so much stuff in there. I'm like, dude, this is really rattling around the guy's brain is brilliant.
It's when he was explaining how it came about. It was like how they basically done something and they had to put the electrodes into a really hot cup of tea. Um, um, but yeah, it was. But when they're in the sort of when they're sort of rematerializing within the Heart of Gold, and you hear
Hmm.
Trillian's voice saying the improbability factor is something against, and they basically they're phasing through different things. They're like turning into penguins.
Oh yeah,
They're
I
sitting,
remember that part in the movie. Yeah, yeah. It's like ding 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 ding
and they're sitting on deck chairs on Southend Pier, and it's like, well, the water's not moving, but the buildings are moving towards us.
ding.
Yeah, it's just all the little crazy stuff like that. And it's just, oh, you know, he was a mad genius, and he was friends with all like the Monty Python crew. So
Yeah,
obviously, you
that
see
shows, yeah.
influences from there as well.
Crimson, thanks for making it. Yes, I'm popping to say heyo, ladies and gents. Appreciate it, Crimson.
Yeah, my favourite Bostonian.
Hope all is well on the. I think you're on the East Coast. That should be Eastern Front.
Yeah, it's cold over there. It's snowy.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. What's the weather got going on over where you're at, Lee?
It's still cold. No snow where I am.
No
Um,
snow. Okay.
no snow. No snow for me.
Wait.
Uh,
Okay. What we got to do our conversions? Like what temperature?
ah, but,
What? Okay. What's in your numbers? What's it? And I'll ask Alexa.
okay, the temperature. Funnily enough, my Benfleet is no temperature apparently. It has no register on Benfleet. It's got Southend on Sea is 5 degrees, which is a few miles that way.
Okay.
Nothing for where I am, and a place in Wales is 9 degrees.
9
So I
degrees.
would
That's
say
probably like
it'll
that's
be
probably like 20 some degrees here.
no, that's 20 degrees Fahrenheit.
I don't know. Alexa,
Have
what's
you got
9
snow?
degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit?
Well, have you got snow?
No, 9 degrees Celsius is 42 degrees Fahrenheit. Am I converting the wrong way?
Yeah. So have you got snow where you are?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So that's Fahrenheit. If it's 20 degrees Fahrenheit, that means it's minus Celsius. Because with Celsius, you double it and add 30.
Yeah. So, so wait, what are we trying to get at? What if you were in America, what temperature would you be at where you're where you're at right now?
So I am 6 degrees Celsius as my phone is caught up to where
Yeah.
I am.
So
So I
yeah,
would double that to 12 and then add
yeah,
30, and that'd be where
yeah.
you'd
So
be.
you are at 40 degrees. So I was right. Holy cow. So that's like super warm considering what I'm thinking. Okay. Because
Yeah.
here it is. Alexa, what's the temperature? It's
It's
20
cold.
degrees. So it's 20 degrees here.
Yeah. So that would be like minus 10.
Okay, yeah.
So
Alexa,
is it
stop.
really cold then? Collaborate on this?
Yeah, it's pretty cold. Like I'm a
Yeah.
cold weather person, but like for me, it starts getting really cold when you start dropping below freezing. I'm like, okay, like if it's even above freezing, I'm like, okay, it'll be cold, but it's not like, okay, this is cold. But like
So
this is a good amount below freeze, not below freezing, but you know.
yeah. So you are below freezing to be at 20 degrees
Yeah,
Fahrenheit. You
because
are
it
below
freezes
freezing.
at like 32 or something or 31. I forget.
Yes. If it was 30, that means it was 0 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
But then we could get into Kelvin.
Yeah, we'll go straight Kelvin scale. We'll deal
Yeah,
with
we're
it.
going to the Kelvin
We
scale. Then like
can't,
it's like
there's no absolute
how warm is it?
zeros.
It's
Yeah,
185 degrees Kelvin.
we can't make absolute zero yet.
Yeah. Now, I think there's actually one place in the solar system where it's nearly um, like absolute zero, which
Hello,
is
Elodie. Hey, can't really hang out since I'm at work, but wanted to say hi and thank you again for my paintover a few weeks back. You are very, very welcome and appreciate you stopping by to say that.
thank you for popping in, Elodie.
Yeah, absolutely. Hope it's a good
Yeah,
day
I
for
think
you
it's
at
the moon
work.
Miranda, which is a moon of Uranus, I think, or
Yep.
Neptune. He's not sure. Uranus. To be honest, right, it's that's an Englishified name of Uranus, and
Okay,
Uranus is
yeah,
the good
is
sky.
the moon god. Like, but
No,
is
it's got
that,
to because you had Gaia, which is the Earth god,
yeah,
and Uranus is the sky of the god of the sky. So anything above Earth is the
yeah,
realm of Uranus,
yeah.
but we call it Uranus, or you go Uranus.
Good old Uranus, dude.
Good old butt planet.
Yeah, sometimes you're stuck out there on Uranus.
Yeah,
Dun dun dun.
but
Okay,
yeah,
now I need a little more
that's the solar
shadow in
system
here.
for you.
Yep.
Like Saturn with all its like 70 odd moons.
Is
Jupiter
there
with all
anything? Is there anything coming out show wise, movie wise, miniature wise? game wise? Anything that's caught your eye that's on the horizon?
Again, it's going to be this weekend. This Friday is where the Games Workshop stuff's going to get all dropped out and that. And yes,
Wait,
it's
why?
there. Uranus is the old Greek god of the sky. Exactly.
Is it?
And his
Wait,
wife was Gaia.
what is the Egyptian one? Isn't it? No, it's not Osiris. Isn't the god? I forget which one's the god of the like the. They didn't do
Of the
sky.
sky.
They did sun.
Um,
No, they did sun, and they
sun is
did. I don't.
Ra.
Yeah, I don't know if they did quote unquote sky. I don't know what they.
Um, I was thinking Horus for a second there.
Yeah, that's what I was like. I thought I was thinking. I obviously got that confused for a minute, but that just made me think they probably do have something. But I knew they had sun. But
Well, Ra is the sun god, but they also had the
yeah,
Aton. The Aton is the disc of the sun.
okay, yeah, gotta
Uh,
bring your A game with your lore when you're up on this show.
yeah.
Gotta know it
So
all.
I was listening to this podcast that I found recently, and they were talking about like Tutankhamun,
Hmm.
um, and because there was nothing really written about Tutankhamun or his like father and all that sort of thing. But his father
Yeah,
was somebody who basically was trying to make a singular religion, and he was the religion of the Aten, which is the disc of the sun, as the god.
oh, see, of course
Uh,
we have the educated listeners. Shu, an Egyptian religion, god of the air and support of the sky. Thank you. See, it doesn't matter. You don't have to say Wikipedia. You can just go with it. We'll give you props, dude. You brought it to everyone's attention. So we'll ignore that Wikipedia part. Thank you for spreading your knowledge, Overton.
yeah,
I don't
because
know
in
how you come up with
this,
I don't know how you come up with these things so quick, but it's glad to have you.
they had this podcast I was listening to called the Rest is History, which is these two historians who do this podcast, and in the sort of 140 podcasts that they've done a couple where they've done like the top 10. They've done the top 10 gods, um, and like the top 10 kings or queens of
Yeah.
England, and all that sort of stuff. And top 10 prime ministers, bits and pieces like that. It was like they've been doing it as a vote on Twitter, on the Twitter thing.
That's pretty
And they
funny.
actually last year, the one where they done about English kings, and got a phone call.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, they named Athelstan as the top king. It was like a World Cup sort of knockout thing, went by votes, and they were expecting, I think, either Elizabeth to be the winner, Queen Elizabeth I, or Queen Victoria possibly,
Huh.
or Henry V. Basically, Athelstan wasn't seeded, and he came through and won overall as the greatest king because he was like the first king of a united England.
Oh, that
So
makes sense.
he was the one like sort of getting rid of the Vikings when the Danes and stuff when they kept on visiting us.
God, I'm so glad to be alive now.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Like
You're talking
compared to
to a
that, I
guy
mean, okay,
like
yeah, dude,
several
like
thousand miles away.
yeah, I'm like, all right. I mean, I granted there's a lot of places in the world that are a mess and everything else, but for the most part,
Our live streams would be incredibly long if we were in
yeah,
like 1000 AD because you hadn't been discovered yet.
where are you, bro?
Brass.
See, and I think about that, like they'll do the U.S. and then so someone like and there's a couple different theories like the movement patterns or whatever, but they keep getting earlier and earlier. So some are saying, yeah, they would skirt the edge when the land bridge was across from like Alaska basically to Russia, they would skirt that edge and come down under. And I'm like, imagine that journey. Like, you know what I mean? Like tens of thousands of years ago. And you're like, all right, boys, load up. We're going to like just see what's going on this whole ice shelf, dude.
Well, that's the thing. It's like because the earliest recorded human is who they named as Eve.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Was like 3 million years old or something like that, or something, or 300,000 years old in Africa. So obviously, Africa is the birthplace
Yeah,
where humans sort of came down from the trees and became Homo erectus or Homo sapien sort of thing.
yeah,
But where they sort of followed the coast and migrated out, obviously going towards like India, China,
yeah.
and because of the changing of environments and natural selection and evolution, that's why you've got, out in sort of like Asia, they're sort of shorter, stockier,
Oh yeah, you've
because
adapted for
of
your environment. Like you've lived
the
long
environment.
enough in areas to adapt to the environment for sure.
And then
And
obviously
it's
going
so
across the
wild too
land bridge.
because it's not even that long, but like, basically everyone did that to a version like, Inuit type people, like they would develop slightly different and everything. And so it was just, amazing because you'd have the totally different things that their bodies would need to process different to survive there. And then you'd go someplace where it's like an arid, dry desert and their bodies would process something different to survive there.
Yeah. And obviously up in the sort of the cold north, we got
Yeah.
paler skinned,
Yeah.
and it's just to blend in with the snow.
We got camo.
Yeah,
We got
yeah,
winter
that's it.
camo.
Yeah,
That's what we got. Like, what did you guys get? Winter camo.
yeah, winter camo. That's what we are. We're winter camo specialists.
Winter camo. Yep.
Yeah. You go speak to the Finnish. They're they're perfect.
You know what I've been doing. I'll put it on with like my dad sometimes, and they're kind of cool. All it is they'll do like a 4K video, but it's a camera on the front of like a train or a trolley, and I'll do a lot of them like in the Swiss Alps and stuff. So it'll just be like an hour long train of the camera on front. But some days it'll be like, okay, it's like I'll watch one where it's all snowy and you're going through the Swiss Alps, and I'll be like, hey, let me, so go to different locations. I just play the video in 4K of like their trains and stuff. There's no
Mm.
like audio, there's no music or anything, so it's literally like a train thing. But I find it oddly captivating when I'm like drawing or something, and my dad will just, he'll sit there and watch with me too. He's just like, you're literally watching this go through the countryside, but it fits because I don't have to listen to anything. You know what I mean? It's like the sound of the train is almost like soothing, and you see this like beautiful scenery and stuff. So oddly, I've been putting some of those on sometimes. Pretty cool, actually.
Yeah, I would say that's what train rides do for you. Like the last
Yeah.
train ride I was on was in Denmark. That was about 3 years ago, almost.
Okay.
Um, so traveling on train between Billund to Uns or Odense to
Yeah.
English speakers, but Uns to Danish. And I was on the train and just listening to. I was actually listening to audiobooks. I was listening to Titan Death
Okay.
um, by Guy Haley, and it's just a perfect little place. You're sitting on the train, all the scenery going past you, the vibration, the rocking motion, and
Yeah.
listening to audiobooks. And it's just a
Oh
really
yeah, because you're reading
calming,
about
peaceful
Titans and
place
it
to
has
be.
that feel. Yeah. Yeah.
I'll just see what Overton was saying. Didn't red hair start with just one person? Um, Possibly because then it's down to genetic superiority of that person. So if it was like a large guy who was like a chieftain of a tribe or something like that, who's going to be spreading his seed everywhere, then that's how it gets going, sort of thing. And then more red-headed dudes turn up on dudettes, and then the genes progress from there. So yeah, you're always going to get sort of variation, and it's all down to the propagation of it, basically. When
What was I gonna
getting
say?
their rocks.
Oh, that's what sucks about having a small attention span. I had some point and it was gonna do something, but easy come, easy go.
Where's the sparkles? Bring the
Put some
sparkles.
sparkle. Just put this concentrate on the sparkles, buddy.
Yeah, that's all you need to worry about.
Yeah,
That's all right.
don't
What's
try to
an
get
easy
with
experience?
thoughts, and that's how everything goes away when people start thinking. Just get to the sparkles. Like,
Yeah, that's
everyone
dangerous.
starts thinking, and then everything's like, just get to the sparkles and chill out, buddy.
Yeah, but yeah, it's yeah. So I say I believe it started with a mutation in one person, and that's all it is. You know, one person that has suddenly a genetic quirk because nature is that kind of thing. You know, it's just like nature will always find a way,
Yeah.
and then yeah, it just then becomes depends on who's doing the breeding.
Is there
Um,
another? Wait, you just made me think of that. Did they say the last one's kind of lost the plot a little bit, but is there another Jurassic Park coming?
I'm not sure.
Okay. I don't know if I want to say I heard something about it, but I just happened to ask that because you made me think of it.
Oh, so you've heard something about
I
that?
don't know. I could be imagining it. So like a part of me thinks I heard something, but then maybe it's not real. So like whatever, take your odds that whatever I think I heard was real or not. Like it's up to you guys.
You might have dreamt it, and it might be just like the best thing
Like
ever.
maybe I misread a tweet or something. I don't know.
Hmm. Oh, totally. So just when in doubt, put sparkles on it, as
That's
Overton was
right.
saying. And Eutychus biology is incredibly fascinating, isn't it? It is. You know, at the end of the day, it's like we, like most humans, are looking at ourselves now, thinking, "Oh yeah, we're pretty badass," but we've not stopped evolving.
No, I
The
know. That's
environment
what's
is
funny too.
changing.
Like, yeah, I mean, imagine if whatever, if everyone's around like 100,000 years from now, you're gonna be different.
Uh, the best example I like to point out is the Babylon 5, um, where they have the last, I think it's Sleeping in Light, I think. And you see, or it might be Sleeping in Light, it might be, oh, what's the other one? Deconstruction of Falling Stars, actually,
Okay.
where they do shifts in time from the end of like the Shadow War and then
Yeah.
several hundred years afterwards, and then so on and so on and so on and so on. And then eventually you see this this dude standing there watching the sun as it explodes. So this is like millions of years, or maybe billions of
Yeah.
years. So he's like humanoid standing there, and then suddenly it just turns into energy and flies into like a encounter suit, like what the Vorlons had, and then just floats
Zip.
off. So
Dun, dun, dun.
that's what they reckon the evolution is, that we're going to eventually become sort of beings of energy or
Just some
something.
energy, bro.
Energy, bro. You know. You ever watch AI?
Yeah.
So you remember? Did you remember the end of that?
You have to remind me.
But basically, the kid, the robot kid, was buried in ice or something,
Okay.
and thousands upon thousands of years later, sort of like artificial life forms dig him up and basically resurrect him and his teddy bear um, to live
Oh,
in sort of
that's yeah. That was the Tom Hanks one, right? Or am I thinking? No. What is the? Who was the actor? Wasn't it a kid and somebody
it
else?
was Haley Joel Osment was the kid, but you
Okay.
had Jude Law was in it.
Yeah, I've seen it, but then don't remember anything. So maybe I have to catch that one again.
Mm. It was like one of Spielberg's big sort
Hmm.
of projects.
Yeah. So then I definitely seen it because I always seen like the Spielberg stuff. So yes. Dun,
Or
dun,
one of
dun.
my favourite robot android based movies, which was Bicentennial Man, which had Robin Williams
Oh yeah, yeah.
playing an android called Andrew. damn it, what's his surname? Andrew Martin.
Mhm.
And it's like this, you see his life from when he was first bought by the Martin family, lived with them, which was like the head of the household was Sam Neill. And Sam Neill is trying to educate him as an android. So you've got Robin Williams dressed as an android. And then
Okay.
it
Yeah.
goes on for like years upon years. So he's like generations of people and all that sort of thing. And Andrew Martin sort of on his journey from where he starts to where he finishes.